Hi, I'm Deathline, and this is PokéPark 2 Wonders Beyond. I'm going to be showcasing the 80% run for this game. Starting out here, we have two files, which is half of what the predecessor, PokéPark Wii, has. So we're just going to pick this one. Doesn't really matter which one you pick. Gonna make a new game. Here we're going to go to the options, set the text speed to fast, and personally I like to set the rumble settings to off. And from there, time starts on file select. So, 3, 2, 1, go. So PokéPark 2 Wonders Beyond is the successor to PokéPark Wii Pikachu's Adventure that was released on the Wii. PokéPark 2 was also released on the Wii, but is only released on the Wii, unlike its predecessor, which has a Wii U VC release. Starting out here, we have quite the lengthy cutscene with Reshiram and Zekrom concerning the state of the PokéPark. PokéPark Wii, the first one, is more gameplay driven, and PokéPark 2, this game, is far more story driven. So there's going to be a lot of text mashing. Another thing you'll notice a lot is this game is just bound with long load times. There's a number of just so many hard loads in the game where it physically has to come to a loading screen. Some of these loads can take upwards of 15 seconds. So here we're playing as Pikachu and we meet up with Piplup, our friend. Tells us to use the D-pad. I'm going to jump to Piplup as that's a little bit faster than walking. So it tells us to use the D-pad to move, but you can also use the one button to dash. This is our main method of movement. So there are these item boxes that you can break open throughout the game. We only break open this one and possibly one other one. Berries are the currency in this game. There are 4 types of berries. Green berries, red berries, and golden berries. Green berries are worth 1, red berries are worth 50, and golden berries are worth 100, I believe. The 4th berry is actually not a currency type item, or currency type berry, but it's an item. It's called a stink berry, and a lot of Pokemon hate stink berry, except for a handful that really like the stink berry as an item. So here, Piplup's just asking us to play a skill game with him. This skill game is called Chase, or it's called Chase. This is one of the main skill games you play to make friends. You basically just gotta tag them. So here Piplup gives us a PokéPark pad. This is the journal type item where you can see stats, save, and etc. We're gonna open this once and that's it. Never see that again. So we're just going to dash on by up to this area and meet up with a Timber. PokéPark 2 includes up to the 5th generation of Pokemon. So unlike PokéPark Wii, where Thunderbolt was its own move, it's also bound to the 1 button, so you have to hold it down. If you don't hold it down, just press it, you'll end up doing a dash by accident. So the fighting system in this game is significantly different than its predecessor, where instead of bars, you actually just have a gauge, and you have a lot of different combat options. There, I got interrupted by the sign, but that's no biggie. do little dash combos like that will just do the trick. So most Pokemon have a few different moves. They have a move to their dash combo, which is just dash. When you hit dash multiple times, you'll end up doing a dash combo. If you hold the one button, you'll get a move. If you shake the Wiimote, you will get a move as well. So sometimes we're going to employ different strategies depending on which fight we use. Once again, another long cinematic here. So the cinematic is really like your welcome to the world of the PokéPark in this game. We're showing off a lot of various Pokemon and the various areas in the game. Here we are as Pikachu with our friend Piplup. So this is Seasong Beach in the Cove area. So here Piplup tells us we should go have a look why everyone's gathered over there, and we're forced to watch him waddle all the way over there before we can catch up. Krokorok and Sandile are gathering Pokemon for Bush Park, which sounds a little suspicious. So we're going to go off to find Wish Park as well. There's a berry on the ground there. It is completely unnecessary to pick the berry up. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. No big deal. Until we are stopped by an Oshawott, who claims we are suspicious Pokemon. He'll ask us if we want to give him 10 berries, but you can just say no. You can say yes, but Piplup will just say, don't give him your berries, it's not worth it. He can go get his own. So, continuing on towards Wish Park now. You're just being jumping a lot out of running. This is how I stop running, so I won't run into a Pokemon and then bonk off of them. So we give Krokorok our 20 berries for the entrance fee, and he'll allow us into Wish Park. So as I mentioned earlier, here's one of these really long load times. Some of them get even longer than that. A nice little cinematic of what is known as Wish Park, of the various places within it. This first area that we're going to be in is known as the Cake Zone. Here's the Gothita. Who kind of acted like our guide for a little bit. So just dash after her. You can actually just go right on past her without having to wait. Once you get to this little opening, you'll get a little cutscene here. So within each zone there is an attraction. This one is ran by Cofagrigus. So I'm gonna save a second or two by jumping up that slope there instead of running around. Here we see a little cutscene with Pansear and Panpour, who the latter of the two demands that they play again for the 23rd time. So we think we're going to try it too. So this is Cake Contraption. I'm going to be playing this with Pikachu. I'm going to have to mash this little opening and then quickly mash A so I can get the game going. And funnily enough, I actually don't need to get any points this time around. You can just completely sit here with 0 points and win. So I'm going to do just that. It's a nice little 1 minute time to get any donation incentives off or any other announcements. And just like that, we win. Somehow we made some cake even though we didn't do anything, but Pansear tells us we shouldn't eat that cake because everyone who eats it acts very strangely. Cofagrigus comes over here in the middle of a nice little animated sequence. It tells us to try it before we decide we don't like it. And dunks the cake on his head. But in comes Oshawott to help save the day. Which is then followed by another hard load. So as I mentioned, we have a number of different moves that we can use. Pikachu's shake move, as I like to call it, is Iron Tail, which will kind of do like a little area around him. So I'm just going to jump right in and do Iron Tail 3 times, just to end the fight pretty quickly. A mysterious voice says that Cofagrigus has failed him, and that none of us should escape, which then ensues the next cutscene. Of mysterious hands just coming out of the middle of nowhere in space. Don't ask how Pikachu is running like that, because he has some weird drifting mechanics. Like that. So right as we're about to manage to escape, Piplup trips. Pikachu goes back for Piplup, we're stuck, we don't know how to get out. Piplup pushes us through the fingers, and somehow is not going to follow us. He's stuck there as well, between the fingers, which doesn't make sense. But we were sent back out of Wish Park. So, we need to find a way to save Piplup and the others. So Oshawott recommends that we go talk to the area keeper Samurott. So Oshawott tells him to follow, but we can just kind of skip right on by, because he's quite a bit of a slow runner. Once we hit right here, we get moved up a little bit. And we can move on. It's about a few frames faster to actually go to the right of the boardwalk there than it is to the left, just because of the way Pikachu is facing. So, Samurott asks us to help Oshawott, which he refuses to, but we're going to go fight Oshawott to see if we can help him or not. So I'm just going to do a dash combo here. And then charge up the Thunderbolt, which knocks Oshawott. And then finish off with another dash combo. So, we're going to combine our strengths. So Oshawott is known as a pal. Pals are a little bit different than friends, because within PokéPark 2, you can switch between pals. This is what the A button is before in this game. So, move over, switch to Oshawott. Oshawott uses water-type moves, and he can swim. So we need to go talk to this Alamomola over here. I'm actually not going to jump, because it's really slow to jump in water. If you just bonk off of the Alamomola, you can instantly mash to talk. From here, Alamomola will tell us some info that we need to hear if we beat her in a chase. So, easily enough, we can just catch up. Even more so, just because she went towards us. So to get to Cove Town, we need to exit through the little loop around in the tunnel. And upon friending Alamomola, a Frillish will come to play. However, we're not going to necessarily need to friend a ton of Pokemon like it is required to in the predecessor PokéPark Wii. Most of the Pokemon we friend are only because we're required to, and a handful we friend just because we need more berries in order to upgrade our stats. So I'm going to jump out of land here, or onto land here, and switch back to Pikachu, as Pikachu runs a lot faster. And jump up the slope. And up the little slope here to get to Cove Town. However, Timber is blocking us. He'd love to let us by to Cove Town, but the Overlook is about to collapse, and he wants to fix it so no one gets hurt. However, his hammer, he needs to fix it, is in the lighthouse. So we need to go over to the lighthouse and get it for him. So we're going to do just that. So this is the beginning of the 2D section. There are a number of these 2D platforming sections we need to do throughout the game. These little mechanical pieces with the lightning bolt means I need to hit it with a thunderbolt from Pikachu. So starting off here, as soon as the timer is done, I'm going to start holding 1 to charge up a thunderbolt. Second is done, I'm going to switch to Oshawott so I can swim in the water. And jump out and then switch back to Pikachu. And just like that, we're done. So on our way back to Timber, we're going to be looking for a beach ball here. Right here. And I'm going to give this to one of the Patrat to my right. Unfortunately, I didn't get very good RNG, but this isn't too bad. By giving one of the Patrat a beach ball, they will become our friend. So now we can move on. And with that, Timber picks up the Overlook, so now we can access Cove Town in the Cove area. So on our way there, we're actually going to come over here to this chest, which will have 100 berries in it. We're going to need a lot of berries in the run in order to do upgrades, so this is one of the many chests we collect in that endeavor. Unlike PokéPark Wii, we actually need to hit the 2 button to proceed, or at least bring up the yes-no menu to proceed. In PokéPark Wii, it's all just loading zones, so once you hit the loading zone, you'll get a yes-no option. So that's another change between the games. So Croc Rock and Sand Isle on the opposite side of this fountain. I'm going to jump over through the middle since it's a little bit faster here. And right on the side, I'm going to switch to Oshawott. It's a little faster to do it right here because the talk range is pretty big, and you cannot switch to a different PAL when you're too close to a Pokemon or to an object for some reason. And the reason we switched to Oshawott here is because both Sandile and Krokorok are ground type, so electric types won't do any damage. But water types will be super effective. So I'm going to start out here by shaking the Wiimote to get a Razor Shell, and then a dash combo to defeat Krokorok. Simple as that. So with that, we've befriended Krokorok and Sandile. So now we can go back to the Seasong Beach area in Cove Town, or Cove area, to order up the poster. Open up the poster, not order up. To go back to Wish Park. Krokorok told us that the more friends that we have, the easier it'll be to get the wish power needed to open the portal from the poster. So conveniently enough, there's these little cliffs right here in front of us. We're actually going to fall down these as it's a big shortcut. On top of the cliffs is a Pokemon known as Petalil, if I can actually find any. Oh my gosh, they're all the way over here. We need to friend Petalil in order to help our wish power. So we need to catch Petalil by the time 2 seconds is up, which seems very short, but is actually really easy as long as you're pressing the 1 button in order to dash. And we'll get some berries for our troubles as well. So from here, we're actually just going to run straight off the cliff. You don't take any fall damage, so easy as that. Go around the Maractus and check the portal. So for this, you just need to shake the Wiimote a lot in order to build up wish power. As long as you complete the meter within 15 seconds, you will have enough friendship points or friendship power to open up the portal. This is why the more friends you have, the easier it is to open the portal. And with that, we're going back into Wish Park. So Gothita's going to run away from us, so we're just going to head straight on to the attraction. So we need to ring the wish bell in order to end the playtime, as he calls it. But in order to do that, we need to defeat the new and improved cake contraption. So once more, we're going to just play this with Pikachu. No reason to play with Oshawott. Here now, we actually need to win by getting 30,000 points. So I'm just going to be mashing away shots to get points as best as I can. These kind of remind me of pistachios. So the green ones are worth 100, the red ones are worth 300, and then there are golden ones held by Watchogs that are worth 1,000. And the Wiimote will actually make a little bit of a jingle when you get the 1,000 points. So unfortunately we don't have 30,000, but no problem, because there's our second part where Autonos are throwing up cake batter. So there's vanilla cake, chocolate cake, and then I'm not entirely sure what the 1,000 point cake is, but it's there. And the reason why I'd mash here instead of aiming or timing out my shots is because there's a chance to double hit these cakes on the first hit. I've already done it once on a chocolate cake. Like that. That's a double hit. Since this attraction is not bound by frames. It is possible to get all the cakes, but it is a little bit difficult. So as long as you have over 30,000, you really don't need to play anymore, but I'm playing just for posterity. And with that, I've gotten 62,000, which is over double what I need. Once you beat an attraction for the first time on story mode, you can play it with other players in the multiplayer option when you select this file on the title screen. So, Rodriguez won't let us approach the Wish Belt regardless, even if we win, so we're going to have to defeat him in battle. So right before we get there, I'm going to switch to Oshawott, as Oshawott's a little bit better for this fight. So for this first part, we need to destroy Rodriguez's cake tower here. The strat I'm going to do is just a lot of dash combos. I'm going to do 2 dash combos, run around the cake about 180 degrees, and then just do 2 more. That'll quickly end this phase of the fight. The second phase is fighting Rodriguez himself. So as you can see, I'm trying to buffer out some of my my dash combos here, So the strongest move will hit them, and this will do more damage overall at the end. As the last move of the dash combo, in most situations, will give the opposing Pokemon or object some knockback, which will prevent them from continuing their combo or attack. So once we beat Cofagrigus, we can move on and ring their wish bell. So here I'm going to switch back to Pikachu, as again, it's faster to run as Pikachu instead of Oshawott. And with that, we have restored order to all these Pokemon that have been confused by the cake. So here Cofagrigus tells us quite a bit about Wish Palace and his master, and then a different Pokemon says, "You've been talking too much," which I think is pretty funny considering the trope of bad guys telling too much information. But this is Gothorita, the evolved form of Gothita, but still a separate Pokemon in this game, who's on the dark side of the Wish Park. So this is one of the enemies we're going to have to be looking out for as well. So 4 zones in Wish Palace is the info we've gotten now. So we need to head back to Samurott. So instead of walking all the way around, we can actually just take a little shortcut here by going around this path and falling down. And then going back to the cove area. So on our way back, we're going to have this dreamlike sequence where we talk to Reshiram, one of the legendary Unova Pokemon. Again, one of those long load times as I mentioned. So we need to go talk to Samurott about our findings now. So once more, run all the way back to Samurott. Once we hit the boardwalk here though, we're going to be stopped by a Pokemon known as Drifblim. Drifblim runs the Drifblim Stop, which is pretty much like the fast travel. This is also the same in PokéPark Wii. However, in this game, you never have to give any berries. So from here, it does not matter which path you pick. Just meet up with Samurott. Samurott tells us to head towards the Arbor area. So, with our newfound friend Drifblim, who will take us in between any areas we've been to, we're going to take the Drifblim stop to Covetown to speed up the process a little bit of walking. However, in this game, you're required to watch the Drifloon sequence from each area at least once, not overall. So each new area we use the Drifloon stop in, we're going to have to watch until we can skip it, which is a little unfortunate. So upon entering Coketown, the 3 elemental monkeys thank us for rescuing them, and they'll become our friends. So now we're going to be looking for these 2 Pokemon, Blitzel and Daywott. So I'm going to talk to Daywott first, as I just happened to notice him first. We're going to be talking to him with Oshawott, as this is the evolutionary line. So first we need to defeat Daywott in battle before we can upgrade any of Oshawott's stats. So I'm going to bait out an attack first, and then get him to attack, because Daywott has really fast moves that'll knock me back before I could finish up a dash combo. So just like that, I can quickly finish up the fight without it taking forever. I'm also going to purchase the dash combo 1 upgrade first for 100 berries. Our main fighter in any percent is Oshawott, which we're going to be using a lot of dash combos. So this is why we upgrade this now. So next we need to find Blitzel, who is over there. Blitzel can be a little bit annoying because they tend to run away, but I luckily caught up to them pretty fast. So Blitzel will teach us Shake Sprint. So during a chase skill game, if you shake the Wiimote, you'll go really fast, but cornering is a little bit harder. But with that, we can catch up to Blitzel. And Blitzel will teach us how to run faster for our dash, but we're not going to purchase any right now. We'll come back for this. But with that, we can actually move on towards the next area, which is the Arbor area. Once we come up here and talk to Crocodile. He'll say he'll consider it if we bring Autono here. So we need to go and get Autono. So run all the way back. Talk to Autono. So this is the Pika Pals. We have a bunch of nicknames in the game that we can potentially get. So Autono will come with us. They say lead the way, but you don't need to wait for them. You can just move right on up. Right before talking to Crocodile again, though, you're going to want to switch back to Oshawott, as Crocodile, again, is ground type. So We need to do a battle here. So starting out, I'm going to do a quick dash combo and then shake the Wiimote in order to quickly get through Crocodile. You may have noticed that my screen went black there for a moment. That's unfortunately me resetting my capture card to fix some audio issues. So, in order to thank us and stuff, he'll open up the gate toward the arbor area now. So he tells us a mechanic of calling our friends. So when we're low in battle, or near a friend, or low in HP during a battle and near a friend, we can press the A button when a prompt comes up to have our friend come in and help us, which is very useful for when we're possibly losing a fighting skill game. So, moving onwards, we meet up with a Snivy here. So, we're actually going to come over here and talk to this Magikarp and try and save him. So he says pick me up and hurl him into the river, but it actually saves a couple of seconds if you just dash into him. You have to walk away there for a second instead of immediately dashing, otherwise you may not properly dash into them. So come over here and we can talk to this Zorua. So we're trying to investigate, and one of his friends is stuck in the Wish Park. And we can't open the portal because there's a piece missing. So we need to go find Whimsicott now, who's conveniently over here. So Oshawott seemingly wants to avoid going to Superior, but Whimsicott tells us where she is. So we need to go and talk to Bisharp now, who's guarding the road to Verdant Court. This is one of the best lines. Snivy is actually a princess. Princess Snivy, you're a girl. How rude. Snivy is the princess to Queen Superior. So with that, we can finally move on to the next area, Verdant Court. So we can completely run past Snivy and just come up here and talk to Queen Superior. who gives out Oshawtt's secret of being afraid of the dark. So we need the invitation, but she just gave the invitation to Deerling. So we need to go find Deerling now. So this Seismitoad's in the way. We're gonna get this chest out in the middle of the water here. So switch out to Oshawott. You can actually check the chest from the backside, no problem. It's a little bit faster there to jump up as Oshawott than it is Pikachu. From here, we can go and talk to Deerling now. It should be mentioned that on the mini-map, there are blue dots, which signify the Drifloon stop, and red dots, which signify the next story-related Pokemon. So Snivy's offering to help us out, which Oshawott is against, but Pikachu, the leader here, will agree to it. But we need to beat Snivy in a chase. Snivy runs really fast. I'm actually going to kind of jump off this section here and then do a shake sprint. That wasn't perfect, but I still caught up to Snivy. Ideally, I would have caught her around 57 seconds. So with that, we have Snivy. Snivy is really good at jumping and really good at running. So Snivy's going to be our main method of movement. That being said, we're going to enter the stump first. There are these elevators with the leaf sign, which means we need to hit it with Snivy's Leaf Tornado. There's a jump there where it's too big for Pikachu, but we can get there as Snivy. Snivy has like some form of a double jump. The reason why I wait till now to switch inside of the 2D platforming section is it's a little bit faster, as you get a fade to black instead of a little sequence of the Pokemon changing. So there, I kind of try and drag myself over the ledges, because if you fall down all the way to this platform, Snivy will have a little bit of like lag animation, like showing that she landed really roughly. So shake the Wiimote to get a Leaf Tornado, which will activate the elevator. And from here, we can just come right on up and get this cycle on the moving platform. And then we can just check the chest for the coaster piece. So now we can go back and fix the windmill. So, as I said, our main method of running around is Snivy. Snivy runs the fastest out of any of the 4 pals, or 4 playable Pokemon. Spoilers, there's a 4th playable Pokemon if you couldn't find the pattern here. On our way back, we're going to be friending the Seismitoad here with a battle. And Seismitoad is a water ground type, so you can pretty much only use Snivy here if you want to do damage. And easily enough, one dash combo will knock out Seismitoad, because Seismitoad is quad weak to grass type. Branding Seismitoad will allow Stunfisk to come back in to the park, but no matter. So run around you. You can use that Driftbone Stop there. I don't think it's any faster to do it that way than just running out over here, because you have to watch the cutscene regardless. So before we put that poster piece back on, we're actually going to come over here and talk to the Snorlax. So he asks us to bring Cottony here, and when we say yes, Cottony will show up. So we need to catch her. Cottony is going to leave behind these spore trails, so we need to be careful. We will pretty much always get hit by that one, but simply enough we can catch up to Cottony. They are really fast though, so... So with that, we've befriended Cottony and Snorlax. The next thing to do on our agenda is come over to the river here and switch to Oshawott so we can cross it, and then switch back to Snivy so we can get that chest over there. For 200 easy berries. Not hitting the rock, let's switch back to Oshawott. And unfortunately not make that in one jump. We're going to go friend Whimsicott now. Whimsicott is one of the hardest chases in the game because they pretty much fly around at breakneck speed. However, they do go in a figure 8 pattern around the windmill, so you can try and catch them in the loop. That Mankey there is unfortunately in the way. And luckily enough, caught straight up to Whimsicott in the loop. So now we can check the portal as Oshawott, because there's an upcoming fight. We put the piece back on, however, we notice that the elite royal guard of Bisharp and Poniard come to stop us. So the Poniard will kind of be annoying in this fight. The main strategy is to quickly attack Bisharp before he can get off any moves. He will tend to dash away though. And then hit you with an attack if you're unlucky. But with 3 simple dash combos, I can easily knock out Bisharp. You're actually not required to knock out all the Poniard, but you can if they're being too annoying. So Bisharp thought that we were stealing Snivy, but as it turns out, we weren't. So only Pokemon in the area can open the portal. So this is why we befriended Whimsicott, as Whimsicott adds a ton to that bonus. And just like that, we have opened the portal. So right into the next area of Wish Park, we meet up with Zoroark, Zoroa's friend. However, it seems that they're being controlled right now by, wouldn't you know it, Gothorita. So we need to defeat Zoroark in a fight. I unfortunately dashed into the attack there. That is not the strat you want to do. You want to wait for Zoroark to finish doing that attack, and then you can start attacking. Otherwise, when you do the dash combo, Oshawtt's hitbox will go through Zoroark into the hitbox for the attack. But once you defeat Zoroark, you get this long pan shot, and Gothorita will flee. So now we've befriended Zora and Zoroark. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it, but this is known as the Dance Zone of Wish Park. So Zoroark tells us to watch out for Chandelure, who runs the attraction here. But Snivy has the brilliant idea of going fast and taking care of the boss right this instant. So we're going to switch over to Snivy and do just that. So I jumped there on the corner just to make the cornering a little bit easier. And then we can come up and talk to Chandelure. So this attraction is known as Dance Inferno. And basically, you just have to copy the dance moves in order to score points. So we're just going to play this Pikachu. We need 25,000. So there are, it's kind of like Just Dance, if you've ever heard of that video game. But really, you just need to shake the Wiimote. You don't need to do the motions. As long as you get the Wiimote. Shakes. The Wiimote will make some noises though, if you, depending on how well you do. So great is the best you can get, and good is just the average. Oops means you missed. And it's all based on motion controls, so sometimes it's a little finicky. But as long as you beat the score total, you should be good. So talk to Chandelure as Oshawott, as he's our main fighter here. So the first phase of this fight is having to destroy Chandelure's stuff. Round 1 is the spotlights. So I'm going to stand right in the middle, and hopefully I can get all 4 to activate, or all 6 of them actually, and knock them all out with one swing. Then you get 4 more, who unfortunately kind of go all over the place, but easily enough we can destroy them. Next up are the speakers, who we're going to use a dash combo for. If Oshawott would stop running around in circles, that'd be great. And lastly, there is a disco ball. So there isn't too much of a strat for this because it'll try to chase you and knock you down. The best you can do is get yourself stuck in a corner so you're not flying very far away, and then just destroy it. After that, you're done with Phase 1, and you can move on to Phase 2, which is destroying Chandelure himself. So if you're lucky, you can actually skip a scene there, depending on how you do the fight. When he gets to a certain amount of health, he will spend some time calling in backups, which are Lampent and Litwick, and that loses a few seconds, because you cannot damage him during that time. So once you defeat Chandelure, you get around 2 minutes of just tech smashing. And then you're introduced to Gothitelle, the last in the evolutionary line. And one of the higher ups of Wish Park staff. Chandelure spooked. And there, along with Zoroark, comes our friend Piplup. So the last thing to do is to ring the bell. So switch over to Snivy and ring that bell. So with that, we have defeated the cake zone, or the dance zone. And Piplup comes back, and we've been reunited with Piplup. So, fortunately, Piplup has the case of jealousy, and he decides to stay back and try and help those that do come to Wish Park and tell them that this is a scary place. So, he says it's not our call, even though we've been looking for him desperately, and takes off. So now we can just head back to the arbor area. On the way back, we have yet another dreamlike sequence where we meet up with Zekrom this time, the other legendary Pokemon. So, more story-related text. So the Dark Vortex is a legendary big black hole in the sky that will swallow up the Wish Park and PokéPark. So we now know our next area is the Crag Zone. Or the Crag area, excuse me. So we're going to Drifblim stop back to the Cove Town, as that'll save us a little bit of time. And we're going to talk to Blitzel, which is perfect RNG almost. We're going to upgrade Pikachu's and Snively's dash speed for 200 berries apiece. So now we can move on to the next area, which is the Crag area. So Snively's now even running faster than before. You can upgrade your dash combo, your hold 1 button, and your shake move 3 times, and you can upgrade your dash for each character twice. So upon opening the Crag area, Pignite and Servine will come to play for their respective Pokemon. So now we're going to Rockridge Fort in the Crag area. First up, we gotta talk to this Pokemon here, known as Victini, who's looking for his friend, Tepig. We need the secret word, so he'll tell us a hint about the secret word. That being said, this question and answers are all the same, and it's always in the same position. The answer is kindness. Before completely moving on, we're going to friend Bastiodon here, and we're going to be using Oshawott to do so. So, with the dash combo and then a shake, we have completed that fight. Here I'm going to jump away, as it's a little bit faster than trying to walk away as Oshawott to change Pokemon. Next, we're going to check this cannon, which seems to have someone in it. So, conveniently enough, the Pokemon we need to ask about how to fire the cannon is right there, Daramaka. Tepig inside doesn't want to be fired out, but we're going to switch to Oshawott here preemptively, and then check the cannon to fire Tepig out of it. Tepig will come down very angry that we fired him out of a cannon. So 2 dash combos will do the trick. And with that, we have gotten our last battle, Tepig. So now we need to go talk to Embor. So, in order to join the battle tournament, as Tepig mentioned, we need to first smash this rock over here. So, switch over to Tepig and just dash into the rock a couple of times. And the second condition is get the Bravery Beard from the cave, which, in order to get to the cave, we need to be fired from a cannon. Just like Tepig was. So, switch back to Snivy, the faster runner, and check the cannon. So those little symbols with the Tepig face requires Tepig to break them. So this is the cave, the next 2D platforming section. So for these two, we need to dash into them. And then we have a water section where these mines are. We need to jump over these so we don't get affected. And switch back to Snivy. We need to put this weight on the button so we can keep the door down. Do some jumping. Shake the Wiimote to do Heat Crash in order to get down here. And then switch back to Snivy. Ta-da! We found the Bravery Beard. We need to go and talk to Embor now. So we need to go talk to Darmanitan, who will open the gate towards the Colosseum. So can't switch Pokemon, but now we can, once we move over a little bit. And then talk to Darmanitan. So we need to use Heat Crash on the switch. So shake the Wiimote with Tepig, which will activate the switch and open up the gate. So immediately we're going to switch back to Snivy, and then run up to talk to Victini. So surprise, we're going to take on a team. They offer to use their ability of Power Up to ensure our victory in the battle tournament. However, Tepig wants to win with his own power, which is commendable. So we need to get through this little cave here in order to reach the Colosseum. There is a Tepig stone blocking the way, however, so we need to get that out of here. And then switch back to Snivy. However, preventing us from moving on is Rhyperior and Geodude, who wants to be in the battle tournament. So they're going to steal the Bravery Bird from us. And this isn't a normal fight, though. This is more like a sumo fight, where you need to knock the opponent out of the ring. So normally we would use Oshawott for our fights and such, but we're going to keep Snivy for a special reason here. That special reason is the Geodudes are actually kind of like bombs. If you knock them into Rhyperior, they will explode and do a ton of knockback. Unfortunately, I'm not getting good 2-luck here in the direction I want to send Rhyperior in. Oh, I'm so close. So, finally we knocked Rhyperior out. That was a little too slow for my liking, but... So now we can continue on. So the gate is closed, unfortunately, and we notice Embor on the other side. who is announcing the start of the battle competition. So we need to use the side entrance for contestants. However, before exiting, we're going to switch over to Pikachu, actually, for this upcoming fight. One of the few times we use Pikachu for a fight instead of Oshawott. And we're going to be fighting a Hydreigon. So the strategy for this fight is actually to do a dash combo. That being said, Hydreigon's in the air, so we need to jump up and then start the dash combo that way. So unfortunately I got a little bit turned around there. But by starting the dash combo in the air, we can hit them with our last hit of Iron Tail on the last swing, which will knock him down, and then we can hit him on the ground. And as long as you stick super close to Hydreigon, you won't get hit by the move he uses. So here comes Scraggy, who was supposed to be Hydreigon's opponent, but he comes here to call out Hydreigon on his suspiciousness for trying to steal a Victini, which we then get a pre-rendered cutscene in. There, Haxorus just drop kicks the heck out of Imbor and it steps on him. So Tippic will try to chase after them, but get whipped against the wall by Haxorus. So we're going to switch to Snivy here before we open the portal in order to friend one more Pokemon right here, Breloom. So this is a game of chase, however Breloom will stop to fire off some bullet seeds. However, I got some tremendous RNG there. Generally for chase, the opposing Pokemon will run away a set distance, but it's not a set distance from you, it's just a total distance. So Breloom ran that, but for whatever reason, it just ended up right in front of me. So, once more, shake to open the portal. And just like that, we are in there. So this is the power zone, which we have to be careful in, because there are a lot of strong Pokemon here. That Flareon just completely destroyed Glaceon. I jumped to get out of the way of Flareon because they would have hit me if I didn't. But here we meet up with Gothitelle, Hydreigon, and Haxorus. So since we already beat Hydreigon, Haxorus is going to take charge this time. So we're going to be doing this as Snivy for the first part, which is kind of like a dungeon run. Or an obstacle course, rather. In order to even reach Haxorus for the fight, we need to get around all these Pokemon first. Which, of course, Snivy is the fastest Pokemon to do so. Run right over those Bulldor, run right under these Darmanitan. I did not do that strat, alright. Supposed to bait out the Timber attack and then run away and jump over them. Here we need to wait for the Bouffalant to get out of the way. And then we can reach Haxorus. Which then starts the next part, fighting Haxorus. That being said, we are going to immediately give up and switch to Pikachu for this fight. So, bait out an attack, and then do a dash combo. If you get really close, Haxorus will try to use that giant tail whip type move. So, we kind of get close and let him attack. And then come back for the next set of moves. Just like that. There, I quickly reset the capture card once more. I apologize. However, we see the scene with the Master, they've been talking about, Darkrai, coming into the picture. So he offers for us to join him, but we're just going to say no. If you do say yes, he'll say that your resolve is not fully true. So next we need to do the attraction, so switch over to Snivy to run up to the attraction, which is Power Bash. So we just need 10,000 points. So shake the Wiimote when there's a Pokemon there, and hit A when there are bombs. If you hit a bomb, you'll get a little bit dizzy, and if you don't swing when there's a Pokemon, they'll hit you. And with that, we've completed Power Bash. So, Gothitelle is not going to bother fighting us, and will just let us ring the bell as we please. So with that, the power zone is done for. And we meet up with Victini, who was kidnapped. However, in exchange for Victini, Gothitelle is going to be taking Piplup instead. So, simple enough, just run off the front there, and we can exit. So, the Dark Vortex, as mentioned a few times prior, has been spotted in the skies above and is starting to form. So we need to hurry on with the story in order to prevent it from swallowing up the PokéPark. So the next area is the tech area. So we're going to open this gate now with Tepig instead of running all the way around, as it saves us a little bit of time. And then switch back to Snivy to run to the Drifblim stop so we can go back to Cove Town. So we're going to be looking for Daywat here in order to upgrade our dash combo once more. Now we can move on. So here he is, opening the gate to the tech area. So, check the little lift here to raise it up onto the catwalk. And then check the lift on the other side to raise us down back to the ground. So, before getting too close, switch over to Oshawott so we can test out our new upgraded dash combo on Girder. So, dash combo. Unfortunately missed the cycle there, but not too bad. So switch back to Snivy and head towards Conkeldurr. On the way there though, we are going to stop by this train and hit it with Pikachu's electricity. And this will cause the train car to move over. And then talk to Conkeldurr as Oshawott. So, a few simple dash combos. So, in the middle of talking to Conkeldurr, Gerda comes over and says the Iron Bridge is broken, and the Pokemon that have gone up to the mountains can't come home. So we offer to help, and we need to go get materials to fix the Iron Bridge. So, switch back to Snivy, and head towards Seasong Beach. Turn around and we can talk to Timber. So, we need to go talk to Samurott now, because there's no way Timber would be able to collect all those resources alone. So we got the timber and cement that we need, so we can go back to the train depot in the tech area. No, I do not want to go to Copetown. I want to go to the train depot. And since I've already used this Drifblim once, I can actually press the plus button there to skip the little cutscene of us flying. So, fixing the bridge, the train can now come back in. Which will bring in a handful of Pokemon. So Critter can tell us how to find entrance. We can actually save ourselves for a second if we jump up the stairs right there to activate the loading zone with Girder. So in order to find the Scientorium, we need to get into the Unaware House. But it's being guarded by a Golurk right now. So I need to carefully platform over these trains. I'm actually going to only be using the D-pad here, and then dashing through. First things first, we need to find Pokemon known as Voltorb, which is right over here, and play a quiz with him. This is the tech area. This is Timber. And the answer is 2. For all quiz Pokemon, they will ask the same question. Questions will have the same answer, and they will be in the same position. So it's just a memory game at that point. As you saw there, that Scizor tried to attack me because he was in a bad mood. Pokemon can openly show emotions such as joy, anger, or sadness. Joy will generally result in fewer text boxes. Anger, they will not want to play with you and generally will try to attack you. And sadness, most of the time they'll just refuse to be playing with you. So here I'm going to switch to Oshawott and come up to the Skolurk, whom we need to defeat in a battle. Simple as that. So we ask him to get us into the warehouse, and he will help us by pushing a train car through the front of the door. Switch over to Snivy. And we can enter the warehouse. So here we find a Solosis. Here it tells us the Scienceorium is up on the 2nd floor. So hit the switch to turn the passageway to the correct format. And we need to be careful so we don't fall off here. Hit this switch to turn this the correct way as well. We need to be careful here since there's a little bit of a jump. And then we can continue on. We need to break down this door with Tepig, though. So once we do that, we can switch back to Snivy. So this will release the Clink, Clang, and Clink Clang family. And a Devotion will come over and tell us we need to go find them in order to open the door for the elevator down to the Scienceorium. So we need to find them, but they still will be in the warehouse. So Clink is actually over here. Across this passageway, we can find Clink Clang. And we're going to run around these boxes really quick in order to come down to this layer and get this chest, which has a bunch of berries in it. And along it, we can find Clang on the ground floor.
Clang.
So with that, we can go back to the sign storing now. So talk to Devotion once we've done that.
Clang. Clang.
So once they open the elevator door, we will befriend all of them. So we can move on towards the sanatorium now. So just gotta run into this elevator. And run all the way down the hall to find the science part of the sanatorium. Where you can find a Reuniclus. So, Reuniclus, it's hard to say the name, is the one who designed the portals. So the reason why the Dark Vortex is growing is because the wish bells regulate time and space, and we need to get them ringing again to prevent the destruction of the parks. So we need to go find a Cytron Collider for him in order to fix the portal. So we need to go to the lab now, which is not that direction. It is this direction. So this is the last time we need to do a 2D platforming section. Technically that's not true, but this is the last of its type, like this. just go through the lab as normal. You need this weight here to bring down the door that is blocking us from collecting the treasure chest. And hang a right. Talk to Reuniclus. So they tell us that we friend more little Pokemon. That'll potentially help us with this portal, as they have bigger dreams. So we are ready to give it a try. And just like that, we have opened the portal to the last zone of Wish Park. So, this is the flight zone, and without any real major tricks, we just need to run up and play the attraction, which is Flight of Fancy. So, play as with Pikachu. So you take 3 laps around a course, you need 15,000 points by collecting gemstones and such. It's a little hard because of the depth perception. These blue rings are a little bit of speed up rings, which we want to collect every single time in order to speed up this game as much as we can. The last lap will include a Seismitoad on a Super Mario Galaxy looking planet breaking down gems. At this point I really don't need any more gems, I just need to hit all the speed ups. So now we need to defeat Sigilif in order to ring the bell. Which we are going to be doing as Pikachu. So phase 1 of Sigilif is what I like to call the Tower of Terror. It is a 2.5D circling tower where you need to get around obstacles, kind of like Haxorus's obstacle course. This can go very wrong should anything bad occur, so hopefully it does not. So the reason we pick Pikachu is very consistent. Getting hit there is pretty much inevitable. You have to get hit. I choose to hit the Amoonguss there so I don't get hit. So here I want to buffer out my dash combos when they're getting back up, so I hit them with the last hit, which does the most amount of knockback. So they don't start their combo as well. Here I'm just going to run by these girders without getting hit. And try to do the same for those Rock and Rolls. And same strat for Jodigan, just dash combo. Hit him with the last hit of the dash combo. I went a little too slow there, which is alright. So sometimes when you knock out those Pokemon, they won't disappear, and they will stay in the way, so not too big a deal. But now I can take part 2, which is actually fighting Sigilif. This fight is a little annoying. You can't do it quite like how you do Hydreigon. You have to mix up some Thunderbolts. Unfortunately, I missed there. Here, I'm just going to use the Golurk Assist just to get through this fight. Even though it's a little bit slower doing that. I just want this fight to end before I accidentally die. Ideally, you want to be able to use the Thunderbolt and not get hit by the Psybeam, but sometimes it doesn't work out when you don't get the Cycle. So, now we just need to ring the bell. So upon ringing the bell, all 4 zones of Wish Park are going to come together now, so you can access them pretty easily once you're inside Wish Park, if you wish to access a zone on the complete other side. And the door to Wish Palace will now open. So we need to make our way down to the middle of Wish Park. On our way there, we will get stopped by Gothitelle, Gotharita, and Gothita. So here we are, we're about to face the final boss, which turns out to be Piplup. No, Piplup. If you say yes, you will have to start that conversation over again. Unfortunately, I believe. So now we need to fight Piplup. I'm doing this as Snivy, as grass is better than water. So I'm going to run away in order to get... That was unfortunate. I'm going to try and lure him into attacking, so I can then attack him. Not too bad. If you try and run up and do a dash combo to start the fight, Piplup will attack you out of your combo. So once you defeat Piplup, he'll run out of confusion and anger and sadness and many other emotions, I'm sure. Something I'd like to point out in this cutscenes and gameplay is, for whatever reason, the Gothitelle line is oddly shaded white. Or oddly tinted white, I would say. And then there's just dark right there. So, Darkrai has come. However, he's not going to fight us. Instead, he's going to take our pal's memories of us as Pikachu. So, just talk to them. Doesn't matter which order you talk to them, but it is faster to pick one end and then go down the line instead of going to the middle and then one of the sides and then back. So now we get a little bit of a cinematic. where he's taking our friends' memories and now he's putting us into a deep sleep. So now we have a few minutes of this cinematic where we have to watch a sad gray world for Pikachu, where he is all alone. There's nobody to see, and nobody to talk to. And then the rain starts to fall. Not to interrupt the scene, but this is some of the best looking water for right here in this scene that I've ever seen in a video game. And this game came out back in 2011, or was made from 2011 to 2012, mind you. So that is just some of the most amazing water I've seen in a while. However, Piplup comes and turns our gray world back into color. And in the background, you can notice the two legendaries. So Piplup suggests we go find our friends back in order. So that's exactly what we're going to do. You cannot use the Drifloon stop during this time, so you actually have to run through all of these zones in order. So first up is Seasong Beach. So we need to meet up with Oshawott, who's on the boardwalk. So we're going to use this cliff skip again. However, we're going to fall off the right side, which is right in front of Oshawott. So challenge him to a battle. So, Oshawott has regained his memories of us. So next we need to go to the Arbor area and find Snivy. So back around up to Cove Town we go. on our way, we're going to talk to Daywat, who happens to be right in front of me, and upgrade our dash combo for the last time. This is going to help tremendously in the final fight against Darkrai. So, next up, Windmill Way in the Arbor area. Oh man, that Wizzcott was trying to hit me. Next up is the Verdant Court, where Snivy is located. Oops. Pressed the 2 button a little too soon there. That's the first time in this run that that's happened. When a yes-no menu comes up, even when you're mashing left, it takes about a second for the game to realize that you're menuing. So sometimes you'll be mashing left and you won't get the menu, and then you'll accidentally hit 2 out of reflexes, and you'll select no instead of yes, which loses about 2 seconds. So I need to run all the way around back up to Snivy. And hopefully now I'll be able to show the Snivy chase strat correctly. So ideally you want to jump upright and then start shake sprinting. Just like that. That's how you ideally want to do the Snivy chase. So now we need to go find Tepig in the crag area. So I'm going to switch to Snivy. I'm going to employ the only skip that we really see in the run, a Pikachu clip. I fell off there. Nope, Pikachu, 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 please. So by getting Pikachu or Tepig to an end of a layer like that, where the Y level is different than what Pikachu is actually above, because his shadow wasn't on the ground he was standing on, they will clip through the ground. And when you clip through out of bounds, the game will just put you back wherever you spawned in to the zone. So since I came in through Windmill Way, it'll put me right there at the start of Verdant Court next to Windmill Way. So that skip saves about 10 seconds, or 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how fast you get it. You can only do that with Pikachu and Tepig. You cannot clip with the other two. So, leave the Arbor area and head towards the crag area. It happened again right there. Then we can go ahead and challenge Tepig to a fight as Oshawott. So once more, just 2 dash combos, and that ends the fight. So now that we've gotten all our pals, we need to head back to Wish Park and go to the palace where Darkrai is located. So the closest way to do that is through the portal in the Coliseum. So we're going to switch to Snivy and open the gate through here. Since we've already seen this cutscene, we can skip it. So, just run on through all the way up to the Coliseum. And this is another reason why we opened that gate. It's just so we can run right through it instead of having to use the Challenger entrance. Almost ran into Glaceon there. And unfortunately, we do have to shake to open the portal one more time. And now we can enter. And I can skip this cutscene too, since I've watched that one as well. Need to come down to here, and then enter the center. So, right before approaching Darkrai, switch to Oshawott, and start the challenge. So, phase 1 is just a standard old fight, nothing special here. Unfortunately, I got hit by his move there. Nice. Okay, so that was pretty good manipulation. If you try and keep him within the arena, because you can't knock him out of bounds where you can't reach, and if you get too far away from him, he'll start trying to teleport around, and that loses a little bit of time. So for phase 2, he's going to get super big and tear up the arena here. So the strat is to attack him on either the left or the right side, but not in the middle. If you attack him in the middle, when he starts holding up a Shadow Ball, you won't be able to hit him. But if you manage to make him start a Shadow Ball on his left or right side, he will hold it on that side. See, he held it in the middle, so I can't do anything here, unfortunately, until he's done. Normally I would be able to hit him during that cutscene. So I'm gonna bring in Conkeldurr here just to hopefully save me. Which I did. Nice. That loses me a little bit of time. That's not a big deal. And with that, we have defeated Darkrai. So Wishpark is now in trouble with the Dark Vortex. So we need to actually switch back to Snivy here and see what's going on down in the Wishpark. The Dark Vortex has gotten too big, and it is now destroying part of the Wishpark. However, here comes Piplup and Reuniclus. In order to save us. So he has brought along this fantastic item, the Light Polariton, I believe it's called. We need to ring all 4 of the Wish Bells at the same time, and then someone needs to take that into the middle of the Dark Vortex, which is a suicide mission, as the odds of returning are 1,000,000,000 to 1. So we are all determined to do it, though. So everyone needs to split up and ring the Wish Bells. So time ends when I hit that last Wish Bell. So Oshawott takes the Cake Zone, Snivy takes the Dance Zone, Tepig takes the Power Zone, and Pikachu takes the Flight Zone. So, 3, 2, 1, time. And that is that. That is PokéPark 2 Wonders Beyond in 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 23 seconds. This is a very solid showcase of the run, other than some minor audio issues with my capture card, which I apologize for. PokéPark 2 is pretty fun. It's a story-driven game. It's about 20 minutes longer than its predecessor. Here we have just the end game sequence. Everyone's happy. We all run the Wish Balls at the same time. However, Oshawott is lagging behind in the cake zone. Poor Cofagrigo is taken away. The cake zone is getting destroyed. Snivy saves Oshawott, however, losing traction. Tepig, Piplup, Pikachu. The other Wish Park Pokemon are getting taken away. Oshawott realizes it's hopeless and tries and lets himself go in order to save us with his super happy face. However, the gravity is just too much, which ends up taking Snivy and Tepig as well. Pikachu then also is trying to hold on to Piplup, which is taken. So Pikachu knows what he has to do now. And reach the light Polariton in order to save the parks. But in the process, Darkrai realizes what he wants to do and takes it for himself. And as doing such, the Dark Arctis is banished. Space and time return to its normalness, along with all the other Pokemon, but none of the objects, just the Pokemon, who are somehow affected by low gravity. And that's the end of the game. Here comes the credits, which are about 7 minutes long. As I previously stated, this is PokéPark 2, Wonders Beyond, 80%, in 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 23 seconds. That is actually a personal best for me. The current world record is 2 hours, 39 minutes, and 6 seconds by Cobrel, which has stood for quite some time now. This is quite more of a story-driven run. There's not a whole lot to it. The fight sequences are what would take most of the time, and getting good fights and some RNG can help speed the game along. There's a lot of untapped potential to this game. It hasn't been heavily routed out. There's only just been a couple major routes since the creation of speedrunning this game. Timing is done in the RTA method, or real-time attack method. However, it is tradition to wait the credits out, save, and then view the in-game time, or IGT. So I'm going to go ahead and let these credits play out now. So yes, we would like to go ahead and save our game. From here, we can go ahead and just reset without having to wait any longer. So I'll get through this last long loading cutscene, and we can see that our AGT is now a 251, which is about right since the cutscenes for credits take 7 minutes. So there you have it. That is a showcase of the Any Percent run for PokéPark 2 Wonders Beyond in 2 hours, 44 minutes, 23 seconds real-time attack, and 2 hours, 51 minutes in-game time. I hope you all enjoyed. I am Deathline, and thanks for watching.